And you a fool's gold.
I was just literally on the internet researching every plant and how to do it. Food didn't get bland because I ate over 300 species of food. I grew over 100 different foods and I foraged over 200 different foods. My name is Rob Greenfield. I'm an environmental activist who embarks on extreme adventures to bring attention to important environmental and social issues. I chose Florida because as someone who had minimal experience, I did want to be somewhere where I could grow food year-round. It can be done in colder climates, but I wanted to choose an easier place since I was just a beginner. And what I chose to do was not live on a farm, not live out in the countryside, because I wanted to impact people. I wanted people to see me growing my food. Could I exist without grocery stores and restaurants and actually grow all my own food? I started from scratch. I had to get seeds and soil and figure out the absolute basic. One of the first things that I did is I connected with the local food growing movement. I went to the community garden. So I just really immersed in the community and got to know people. And so I ended up having 6 front yard gardens and they were available for anyone to eat from. Quickly, it went from grass to having really enough food for dozens or even hundreds of people to eat from, and they were basically community gardens. Anybody could walk in and eat the food. My goal wasn't just to grow and forage all of my own food. My goal was to help other people do so as well. So during the year I started Gardens for Single Moms, and we built gardens for 5 single-parent families in the neighborhoods and helped them grow their own food. And we planted over 200 fruit trees that were publicly accessible for everyone to eat from. And then Free Seed Project, and we sent out 5,000 garden starter kits to people to grow their own healthy food across the country. I made my own flour by dehydrating cassava and yam. Then I could make my own tortillas and bread. I fermented a lot of foods and made things like sauerkraut and honey wine and ginger beer. I ate dozens and dozens of different meals throughout the year that were really varied. For the year, I lived in a tiny house that I built out of 99% secondhand materials. It's 10 feet by 10 feet, so very small. You know, my arm span is 6 feet, so I span across most of it. Basically, it was a bed, a desk with a chair, a freezer to store food, a couple of shelves to store a lot of food, and then under the bed, there was storage as well. Being in Florida, I was able to utilize outside as well. So my kitchen was an outdoor kitchen, and that was powered by rainwater, so my sink was just rainwater for washing dishes and hands. And I also had an outdoor compost toilet, turn that into fertile soil rather than wasting water and shipping it off to be someone else's problem. That fertilizer is used on fruit trees. So not on your kale and stuff on the ground, but on fruit trees where the fruit is high above. And then lastly, I had an outdoor shower as well, and the water from that was harvested from rain, and then the water would be used to water banana plants to grow bananas. Through the year, I had my ups and downs. At times felt my absolute best, and then there was times that I was worried about my health. The middle of the year, I found that I had a deficiency, I thought, in fat and protein. Permaculture, there's a saying, and that's turn your problem into your solution. The squirrels were my problem. They were eating my plant-based form of protein, so I ate the squirrels. If you are getting food from a farm, even if it's vegan food, there's a good chance they're killing squirrels or rats or mice that are eating the food. So for me, I'm in the direct fire. You see these things that I'm doing, but the reality is that we're all doing this, we just don't see it. At the end of the year, I felt honestly better than I had recalled in my adult life. I was healthier and I was happier, and I didn't get sick once throughout the entire year. Most of the food that we buy at the grocery store today is shipped long distances, often from halfway around the world, if not halfway across the country. It's packaged in plastic that will be around for hundreds of years, either in the landfill or in our oceans and our lakes and our forests. It's processed and filled with ingredients that aren't really good for us, and it uses a ton of pesticides and herbicides and fertilizers that run off and pollute our water. So this food,